Dun, 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 dun. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Bum, 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 bum. What's up, party people in the house?
What up, though?
Welcome to This is Live, one of the sexiest voices in the SFL,
Mr. Master.
Dave Axis. What's up, party people of the SFL? What's going on? What's happening? What's cracking? I'm not muted, bro. Crazy Canuck, good to see you. Good to see a lot of the party people in the house. I saw you guys jumping in there, and I will get to you guys in a moment. But in the meantime, welcome to Season 20, Episode 8 of Axis Live. I am your host, Dave Axis. And, dude, we got another loaded show. Here's the deal again. I got to go out of town. I got to bounce right after the show. I don't know if we'll get done in an hour and a half. I don't know if we'll get done in an hour 45. I don't know if it'll go 2 hours again. I'm hoping it won't go 2 hours again because I have to drive for 4 hours. So hopefully we get this done in 90 minutes and we out. However, I know this show and that usually tells me we're going to go long. But so just want to give you a heads up there. Farnsey saying the over-under 10:59. Well, it was 10:45 last week, and a bunch of people won points off of me or something, I guess. That's what Holdorf told me. So I guess we'll see. We'll do the over-under at 10:45 again. I don't know if Holdorf can throw another thing in there or not, but we'll check it out. Bob Funk, how many points you win? You won like a grip of points I saw last week. In any event, let's check out the party people real quick, and then we'll get this party started like we normally do. Let me see who's in the house. Let's see who the first one's in. Nice hat, Dave. Thank you, Boomberry. Looks like one that somebody else might be having here pretty soon. Just saying. Let me see. Dave said short show, so that is 2.5. Dude, I try, man. I don't tell you. Things happen on the show, and, you know, you can't rush perfection is all I'm saying. All right. Crazy Canuck is numero uno in the house. Bullet Beletsky's here, folks. Tyler's in the house. Crazy Canuck. Dave Terry from San Antonio, my man, is here. Mel Davis in his house. My main man, Freddie's here as well. I see Hacker. Hacker, I'm adding you at Hacker. Let's see. The lovely, amazing, perfect Pink Lisa. Hey, who announced our game this week? I don't forget who it was, but they said it on the air, and it was perfect. She loved it. Farnsey's in the house, of course. Josh, good to see you, buddy. Alien Nation here, as well as Boomberry. Fox Highwind is with us. Pseudo Nikai in his house. Albert Begin. Albert, what's been going on? You've been buried in the snow the last couple weeks, or what's been going on, bro? Let us know what's going on. Art Vandalay. My man, Art Vandalay. What's up, Art? I said Boomberry already. Bob Funk in the house. You know, we can't have a show without Bob Funk. It's not even, I don't even think that's legal. First time chat, back to brag. Welcome here. Good to have you here on the show on Axis Live. Gunny's in the house, of course. Ethan Kai's here. We had we have too many Ethans all of a sudden. I can't tell them apart half the time on the show. There one Ethan last week, a different Ethan this week. Let me see. James Walters is back as usual. Subscriber. Thank you for that, James. Appreciate that. And I think that's it for now. Let me check here real quick. Let me see if I missed anybody in this bad boy. Sometimes people sneak through the cracks. And I think I got everybody that I said. Okay. All right. So here we go, folks. Welcome to the show. Let's find out who's going to be on the show. Let's see who tonight's panelists are. And it's Nacho sneaks in at the last second just as I'm wrapping up shout-outs. Nacho, what's going on, bro? What's up? In circle number one, If I can find the correct button. He is been on the show, I think, 2 times before, or maybe just once. Oh, I don't know. I'll have to ask him. Let me see. Hold on. Let me see if I can figure this out real quick. Is it? Let me see. I think he's only been here 1 time on camera. Anyway, all the way from Minnesota. Okay, so that narrows it down to a few people from Minnesota who've been on the show. Where's the button? There it is. My man Daniel's back. Daniel, what's going on, bro?
Not too much. As you've seen, I had some gnarly finger picks to show you, so I've been rehabbing a little bit.
Oh, I was going to put those on the show as we see. I'm sorry, real quick. Doug Day's in the house. I see Marco Swift sneaking in. Holdorf, I don't know if I saw you earlier. Did I see David Leathers, the man with the best first name in the SFL? What's up? So what do you mean I'm phasing in? Oh, am I doing this? Am I doing the Matrix? Is that what's going on? So Daniel, tell everybody real quick, and we'll post it in the Access Live server later tonight. That nice picture you sent where you've got 4 finger or 3 fingers and a thumb or whatever going one direction, and then your pinky, I think it was, doing like a knife. Oh my gosh, Becky. So
kind of like that, you're saying?
Yeah. At first, I thought you were messing up the whole Star Trek thing or something, but no. So tell everybody what happened, man.
Yeah, so I was playing basketball. I had a freak basketball injury. The ball literally collided with my pinky and it kind of collapsed it inwards. So there's an actual break in my knuckle.
So usually
they put me.
Usually you just get a jam, right? You just get a jam finger when that happens, but yours actually
usually. I've gotten jam fingers 1,000 times over, but as soon as I felt this one, I felt something different of it. Felt like the knuckle needed to be cracked, but it couldn't be cracked, kind of thing. You know how you got that buildup?
Yeah.
This is 3 weeks of recovery, and I'm still you
still look like you got the whole Spock thing going on or whatever.
Yeah,
that's cool.
They're sending me to a specialist in a couple of weeks to see how it goes.
Good to know. Well, good thing it doesn't affect you being on the show.
No, I'm here. That's perfect. I can still speak at least.
Thank you, bro. Welcome back. Jaden Swift, T to Queen, and Colin just showed up. Let me see who else. I think that's it for now. All right, moving on to guest number 2 in your top middle circle. He's been on the show a million times. He was my former teammate and my current teammate. That's kind of like my ex-girlfriend and my current girlfriend, I guess, but different. And he's been on the show even once this season already. We were actually arguing about how long it's been. So as we see Jack Wall sneak in. Did I miss the show? No, Jack, we were holding it up, waiting for you, buddy. That's what we do. In circle number 2 is my man Nate Hall. Nate, what's going on, bro? How you doing, man?
I like the ex-girlfriend and current girlfriend. What the hell? You're married, dude.
Well,
I don't roll that way for one thing.
I did not mean me. And listen, it's not the first time I called you my girlfriend. So, hey, everybody.
Anyways, I'm doing good, bro.
Welcome
Happy to be here.
You still, I see you got the Amish Mafia thing going on. So, what's going on with that bad boy?
It's here.
I don't know, bro. Go. Hey, wait, dude. Turn to the left for me or to the right. Turn to the side. I think that thing's got to go away, man. I think, okay, listen, what is it? We're in March, right?
Yeah.
It's springtime. See, I wouldn't say that to Daniel because Daniel's is like humongous and stuff, right?
Yeah.
But I don't know. I kind of feel like you need to get rid of that thing, bro.
Yeah. It's about that time.
I think you should shave it.
Probably, yeah.
You should shave.
Little thing.
Maybe you should shave it on air tonight.
Hey.
Okay.
Anything is possible on the Dave Axel show.
Hey, if you guys want to see Nate shave his beard on the show, put it in the chat. Daniel's over there sweating bullets now. Look at, I can see it dripping down his face. Oh, that's awesome.
Put it in the chat, and I will go get my clippers. But I want to see what everybody says.
It's on now. All right, let me move on. Nate, welcome back to the show, bro.
Yes, sir.
All right, guest number 3. We don't have to worry about a beard on this guy because he's on active duty. And he's always shaving because the military tells him he has to shave, just like we tell him he has to be in the corner in circle number 3 every show. Welcome back, of course, Tyler Falk. Tyler, what's up, buddy?
Ladies and gentlemen, tonight's show of Access Live is brought to you by the number 0.
Oh,
just like I have 0 beard, like Louisiana had 0 points and a few other zeros, which will be a theme you'll see all throughout tonight.
We will definitely talk about that. Real quick, Bob Funk says, yes, beard shaving show. Doug Day saying shave it, shave it, shave it. Highwind says shave it. Ethan Kai says, what do y'all have against beard? Nothing, bro. I'm just saying it's not No Shave November anymore.
Hey,
it's not October, December.
So far, I've got 3 yeses and 1 no. That's so far.
Who said no? Who said no? Ethan.
Oh,
yeah. Colin. Colin says no.
Oh.
How about Nate shave, Nate grow hair live under that cap?
Oh, Steven said no. It's tight right now. Steven said no.
Hey, you know what?
Oh.
I'll tell you, I'll make a deal. If you shave it live tonight on air, I'll let you come back on the show as many times as you want.
Hey, sounds like a deal to me. Hey, throw in some Axis swag too.
Oh, I will throw you. I will send you Axis swag. I will send you something if you shave it live on air. All right, dude, it's like split. Some people now are saying no, $5 a clip. That sounds like a punishment, not a reward.
We need to put this to a poll. Here's the problem.
Holdorf's not here tonight. He's not in the thing, so he can't do the what do you call it, the moderator stuff. So this is a long intro. This is not biting well for me to get the hell out of here. I will subscribe to Axis channel if Nate shaves. Okay, see, look, we're gonna get subscriptions.
All right, there's Benji.
There's Benji.
Benji in the same day.
All right, let's put that on hold for a second. And all right, everybody, for a chance to win Axis swag, you got about 60 seconds to guess who is tonight's special surprise co-host with me. And I told you Axis short show, so I know, right? So guest host is Eric Bieniemy. Yeah, I wish, bro. He hasn't even responded to me. The guy gets popular and he doesn't even talk to me anymore. Aaron Rodgers, yeah, maybe. Mike O'Neill, maybe. Ray, surprise guest, Nate's barber. That would be perfect. Demond, if it was me, I'd be hella surprised. Yeah, I'd be hella surprised too, bro. Chad is the leader of the Amish Mafia. Ooh, that could be. All right, nobody's getting it. Is this going to be the second time this season that I don't have to give away swag for this? All right, here we go, folks. I will, of course, I always go back and check the chat. Sometimes I miss it. Dave's split personality. Yes, we have had to have 2 people or 1 person in 2 circles before. If you remember, Cam did that once. All right, folks, here we go. The special surprise co-host for, what is this, episode 8 of season 20 Axis Live is, I'm trying to stall so you guys can throw more guesses. Chad, no. Hunter, no. Cam, no. Bo Martin, no. Is none other than someone who took a little bit of a beating this weekend. No, not Mike All, not Greg. And that is my good friend from the Charleston Predators, Jacob Clear. Jacob, what's up, bro? Dude, nobody guessed it was you. Nobody.
You need to have a talking to your audience. That was a poor effort.
It was, but you know what that means? It means that everybody kept it secret, which is great, right? See, sometimes you get
what you wanted.
Yeah, well, sometimes, Jacob, you get these where everybody guesses it right out the gate. It's like, oh, you guys knew. Somebody talked, right? This is like, it's like the government, right? Somebody leaks something all the time. So anyway, welcome to the show for the first time as a panelist, I believe. Is that right?
Yeah, first time outside of post Johnny Pickler After Dark appearances.
Oh, yeah. I do remember you being on for voice.
For 3 hours.
Oh, hey, well, we used to go 3 hours. We don't do that anymore.
Yeah.
We try to wrap it up in 90 minutes. We try. But anyway, Jacob, I'm excited to have you here, bro, and I'm excited to talk about some games from this weekend.
It's a pleasure to be on. I'd rather avoid talking about Friday night's games, but
Well, I don't have. I mean,
can't be avoided.
I don't know who's got the West, but we'll get to that in a minute. Fox High went in the chat. Dave wasn't clear who his guest would be. Hey yo, good night, everybody. Fox will be here all week unless Holdorf can ban him right now. All right. All right. So panelists are done. Let's move on. We have, I don't know if you guys remember, way long time ago last week, a whole 7 days ago, we had the most bullet points we've ever had on the show, 11. It was actually 12. We condensed one. This week, I don't think we have quite that many. Bullet Boletsky's back with us to give us bullet points from last week's show. Bullet, what's going on? Welcome back to the show, bro.
What's up, Dave? Going on?
What's going on with you? And how many bullet points do we have this week?
week was kind of a tame show compared to the previous week, so we only have 6 this time. I managed to squeeze 6 in there, but
bro, we went 2 hours and you can only get 6. Come on, man.
Straight lace show.
It's a straight lace.
There was a lot of serious talk.
My show's been called a lot of things, bro, before. Never straight laced. But with that being said, let's move on to bullet point number 1. Right out the gate. What do you got?
The gate. Bullet point number 1. Okay. Dave set the tone early in his opening monologue by insinuating that the upcoming St. David's Day holiday was named after him. We all know that Dave is obsessed with his name, but this took it to an entirely new level of obsession. Rumor has it that next year the Mavericks will be rebranding as the San Diego Daves.
Ooh, not a terrible idea. David Leathers will be the first person I try to recruit. and then David Harrell. And who else? What other Daves or Davids are in the league?
You could definitely fill a whole team of Daves.
For
sure.
We'll have to get on that. Hey, if your name's Dave and you want to play for San Diego next season, you want to play for the San Diego Daves or the San Diego Davids, hit me up. Slide in my DMs. All right, here we go. Bullet point number 2.
Number 2. When introducing this week's panelists, Dave wasn't shy about telling the audience that he had played with some of the best tight ends that have ever been in this league, and I love me some tight ends. I believe you, Dave. Not that there's anything wrong with that.
Is that how I said that exactly?
Exactly like that.
Exactly
verbatim.
like that. Verbatim. Listen, everybody's still in the chat. They're still they're calling it the San Diego D's.
I like that better.
I mean, we're going. I can't believe we just rebranded. We have to rebrand again. Unbelievable. All right, bullet point number 3.
Number 3. This one is a bullet point about a bullet point.
Whoa.
So during one of the bullet points, I couldn't get out of my own way and fumbled and bumbled the opening line like a stuttering drunkard. While this is typically a fair characterization of me by the end of the show every week, I wasn't there yet, so I was very disappointed with myself. As punishment, I forced myself to listen to the 10-minute loop of Tyler's 2-10 Florida prediction.
Oh, poor dude, Tyler, you're never getting away from that thing, bro. Ever. That's like we gotta make shirts for you or something. We
gotta win. Well, we gotta win that third game for that to be inaccurate. So
yeah, that's true.
Jury's still out.
There you go. Well, and say, listen, I don't mean to jinx you, but so far you're 3 for 3 on bullet points. Bullet point number 4.
Very good. All right. The Minnesota-Seattle rivalry was growing in anticipation of next week's showdown, and in an act of pure gamesmanship, in the chat, Doug Day told Axel Raven that he had taken Sasquatch hostage in Minnesota and threatened to shave him bald. Not sure how Axel will retaliate, but if I were Doug, I'd steer clear of Twinkies that look like they have some extra filling.
Okay, so originally I was not going to comment on this bullet point. But I do have to say, I believe that this is an omen for Nate to shave his beard tonight. That's all I'm saying. Bullet point number 5.
All right. Okay. Tyler didn't spend a lot of time reviewing last week's Florida-Minnesota game, so Dave asked him to spend 30 seconds to make Art Vandelay happy. I feel like I have to step in here and defend Art and tell everyone that it takes a lot longer than that. Don't ask me how I know. You're welcome, Art.
Oh, my. Is Art still in the... I know Art was here at the beginning as I see Jeff Banfield jump in the chat. Jeff, what's up, buddy? Holy crap. Let me see. Is Art still in here? Sometimes Art comes in, bounces, and then, he just... no matter how I word this, it's going to come out dirty, so I'm not even going to say it. Let's just move on to bullet point number 6.
Number 6, last but not least. Dave was trying to rush through the predictions at the end of the show to meet his self-imposed deadline of 11 p.m., but the audience wasn't having it and slowed things up enough to drag the show across the 11 p.m. threshold and land Dave in the doghouse with Pink Lisa. Freddie was not happy with Dave's tactics either and let us know how he felt when he sang, "The party's over until next week when we try to rush through it again." And I know I can't sing as good
as Freddie, but
the master. But
yeah. Well, here's the thing: he's gonna have to do it again because I have to rush through it again this week because I have to I have to leave again anyway. So Freddie's going to be pissed off 2 weeks in a row. But, you know, what are you going to do? I mean,
what are you going to do?
You know, life with a pissed off Freddie is better than no life at all. Oh, we should put that on a fucking Hallmark card or something. Real quick, Jeff Banfield. Yeah. So Jeff, last week on Twitter, you said you were going to watch the show and then you didn't watch the show. So I'm glad to see that you're here this week, saying in the chat, I finally didn't forget to watch. Welcome to the show, bro. Bullet, a pleasure as always. I love the all the ammunition you give us for later in the show and for the next week. It's fucking beautiful, bro.
My pleasure, Dave.
And I don't know how many bullet points we're going to give you tonight, but we'll see you next week, man.
Take it easy.
All right, bro. All right, folks, that was bullet points from 11 to 6. That means we must have had a really clean show last week. Real quick, before we jump into the divisions, I want to go around the horn again. This is something we've been doing every week now. Justin Reside and Dave Lee's. Oh, Justin, I know I felt so shitty about that. I'm sorry. So real quick, you guys, I overbooked panelists for this show, and Justin was supposed to be on this show, but I asked Justin to join us next week instead. So now you know one of the panelists next week will be Justin, but is he the surprise co-host or is he one of the guys in the top circles? Tune in next week to find out. Dun, dun, dun. All right, let's do week 8. So this is going into week 8 that Jack's Data put this out. San Diego had dropped, I see, but they had come back up 4 more after beating, who did we beat 2 weeks ago? Whoever we beat 2 weeks ago. So these, just to clarify, this is going into week 8, the games that we just had. Daniel, let's start with you. As you look at the going into week 8 power rankings from Jack's Data, what kind of movement do you expect seeing this weekend, or like when this comes out? I think it comes out on like Thursday or Friday, but what kind of movement do you anticipate?
I expect Tulsa to be a lot higher after the week they just had. Tulsa's a very good team. Actually, I'll talk a bit more about it when we get into the Central, but their defense is outstanding, and they're playing lights out.
Yeah, I agree with that. Tulsa, I mean, look, even from week 7 to 8, they jumped up 5. That's crazy. So you anticipate they'll jump up even more, huh?
Oh, definitely. I think they have probably the best defense in our division.
Ooh, okay. Nate, what about you? As you look at there's 16 teams on here. I know we mostly concentrate on the top 12, but of these 16, what do you see?
I don't want Tyler to have to talk about his own team, so I'll talk about it for him. Louisiana, I don't know how far lower they're going to drop after their loss to their big goose egg this week. They already lost 2 spots going into week 8, but after not scoring at all this past week, are they going to drop down to 14, 15? I don't know. We'll have to see when they come out again.
Okay, that's a good point. All right, Tyler. So we've talked about Tulsa and Louisiana so far. Who you got?
Well, I'm a big proponent of Carolina's play. That's just me, but I think, and by and large, Jack City, I think, has gotten this one pretty close to nail on the head. I think if I had to choose one maybe gripe, again, this is based on analytics, not necessarily rankings of individual people. I'd probably say Florida shouldn't be in the top 16, but that's just me.
Okay, and wrapping up with you, Jacob. This week 8, going into week 8, Jack's Data power rankings. What do you see? Changes going into week 9. So let me clarify real quick for everybody. Jack's Data does theirs a week ahead. We do ours a week behind. So this is week 8 Access Live show because we're talking about week 8. He talks about week 8 going into week 8. Go ahead, Jacob.
Okay. I don't anticipate it changing necessarily, but I think Vancouver being in 5th is quite interesting given the fact that they're only just a win above 500, and I guess a lot of that would come down to just sheer pedigree of the organization. And coming off the back of a win where they barely beat Florida, I wonder if that's going to change this week. If not, will it change in the future? But I think Vancouver's a team that I'm frankly surprised is in the top 5 given how they performed this season.
Am I doing my math right with the weeks? This is post Baltimore loss, right? Is anybody surprised that Baltimore's still 1 and Atlanta's 2? And does anybody think that should be flip flopped?
Again, this is just solely on analytics. Baltimore in general has been a solid team throughout. Atlanta has some strong points analytically. So this is about where the analytics would say, but of course, according to the coaches poll from last week when the loss happened and the media poll, it has Baltimore and Atlanta flip flop. But again, the data shows that Baltimore technically is a stronger team.
All right,
on paper.
60 seconds. Anybody else on the
I
Baltimore
was going
Atlanta
to
thing?
say, I think it should be flip flopped just for the sole reason that Atlanta is. Who was Baltimore's loss against, though?
Fort Worth.
Fort
They
Worth.
lost Fort
Yeah,
Worth. And
Fort
in
Worth.
Baltimore, though.
Yeah, in Baltimore, but Fort Worth's proven to be a strong team. Maybe not as strong as that. Well, that South Division is
It is.
strong
It's
every
always
year.
tough. It is.
Yeah, so I don't know how much they value the strength of that division when they rank 1 and 2, but in my opinion, I think Atlanta should be 1 right now.
Well, just to clarify, too, Jack's Data puts out 3 different power rankings. They have a media power ranking, they have a coach's power ranking, and then this is the one I think that Hunter does with strictly analytics. So even though I believe that the other two do have Atlanta number 1, Hunter says that analytically, by the numbers, Baltimore's still your number 1 team in the SFL. So there you go, folks. All right, let's jump into these divisions and find out what happened here in week 7 and or week 8. See, now I'm confused. Real quick, just a math question, Dave. Okay, you have a math question? Oh, a math equation. Sorry. Real quick. Yes, somebody's already pointed it out. I messed up. I forgot to change the last 2 weeks. I forgot to change the week on the scores right here between Jacob and I. It still says week 6. I'll get on top of that next week for week 9. So that being said, Daniel Wright, what do we have going on this past weekend in the Central Division between these 4 teams you see on your screen?
Well, we saw a whole lot of winning, but one team faltered when we expected a big win from them. Sioux Falls actually really struggled this week. They had a very big loss to LA, which you thought they were actually going to take the win on. Credit where's credit due. LA got their first win. Proud of that. Ramblers showed up big in a big series. But I'll go slightly on them a little bit. I'll speak more about Minnesota to Seattle Nemesis because that game, it really didn't look like Minnesota was going to win that. I'm going to say it up front. The first half, we let 265 passing yards happen in the game. They were up 17, I think 17-10 or something. I think 17-10 because we got a pick 6 to bring it back and close it off to one touchdown. But it went to overtime. Our defense really brought it together in the second half, only giving them 6 points. And get a pick 6 in overtime so we can make him a little in there to get a field goal to win the game. The big saga, Tulsa Desperados. Like I said previously, I think they're the best team in our division right now. At least they're playing like it. Point-wise, their points for are 210 versus 157 points against. So their net points are 53, which is the highest in all our divisions right now, or in our division specifically, it's the highest 0.4 points against ratio. And we haven't seen a shutout now in a couple of seasons. 28-0 is nothing to break a bank about. And Brooke Beisel herself, 7 field goals. Got to mention that. Really carried the offense. Everyone's got her in the area that she needs, but they couldn't finish it with touchdowns. So it'll be interesting to see if they continue to do that, or if they can actually get the touchdowns they need to continue progressing as they go. 5-2, really good. We do know last season they were the only team to have a positive record to miss playoffs. Missed out on 7-5. Yeah. They're looking to try and not do this this season, and I think they're in a really good spot already at 5-2. The division is tough. I'll go back to the Ramblers because I said I was going to. The Ramblers had a really tight game against Jacksonville. Funny enough, ever since the Jacksonville owner said, try and throw us in dime, we'll still play well. They haven't won a game, so I don't know if they're still want to talk about that.
Who said that?
The owner.
Oh, okay.
Oh, Gooden.
Yeah.
So OJ Bruin's been throwing interceptions galore since then. So I think they need to change it up. I think they need to get the running game back improved. But Ramblers put up 42. I think this is 3 games now. They put up 40-plus points. So that alone is remarkable compared to what they had last season as an expansion team.
Yeah, so it was just last season, right? Was the first time somebody went 7-5 didn't make the playoffs, and it was them. Right? That was
Correct.
just last
Yep.
season. Okay, yeah. I have a feeling that might happen again this season. To be honest with you,
With the way people are playing, I
Yeah.
have a feeling it's going to be similar as well.
yeah,
Yeah.
I agree. Jacob, what do you got for Daniel?
All right, I'm gonna put him on a spot here because
Uh-oh.
this is a very exciting division, and particularly last weekend watching that Seattle Minnesota game and knowing that Tulsa were red hot going into that Revolution game on the Saturday rather. Daniel, I want you to put yourself in the position of a neutral here. Who wins this division?
So funny you say I'm neutral because if you remember, my first ever pro team was Tulsa. So I actually have
That's
the
why I
Legion.
asked the question.
I right now, as it stands, playing wise, I think Tulsa is probably going to win the division just by the strength of how they're playing right now. Now, with that said, Minnesota is 2-0 already in the division. The only one they haven't beaten is the Tulsa Desperados. So I think it comes down to that game to determine who wins. But right now, as of playing right now, as well as the air, because we're having some offensive difficulties now and again. We are sputtering a bit on offense. The Seattle game really showed what happens when we struggle on the offensive front. Tulsa right now looks like the full team. So I'm going to give the slight as to Tulsa as a not biased, just neutral party.
Real quick.
Points for honesty.
Yeah, yeah. That's what I expect from people in Minnesota. They're all pretty straight up about how they feel about other teams in that division, especially Indianapolis. But last night's game, it was Arizona at DC. Is that correct? Anybody know what the final score was? Can somebody put it in the chat?
30-23 Arizona.
Okay, I'm gonna try to fix this issue on the fly while we're talking and while we move on to the West Division. Tyler, this is our division. You've got 3 teams with a combined 15.
You mean Nate?
Or Nate? Oh shit, yeah. Or what Tyler, Nate, whatever. 220, 221. Nate, sorry, dude. I'm literally trying to. I am so multitasking right now. If you saw what was in front of me, it's just insane. I got graphics and things I'm trying to change, and I'm telling you, this is what happens. Holdorf takes a night off, and I'm all over the place. Nate, yeah, I think I've been on a couple teams with you before. Dude, this division is ridiculous. And
It is.
So tell me about how things fared this weekend.
Well, only 2 of our 4 teams played this weekend, so it should be rather short.
That is really short.
Yeah, Denver and Las Vegas both had bye weeks this week. San Diego continues to take care of business, beating Charleston this past weekend. We had 21 points in the first half. We were leading 21-love before they came back and scored 17 on us in the second half. In garbage time, we won 34-17. Focusing on a couple of players on offense. Scar Patterson was on fire again. 4 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, almost 3 yards, 283, but over 70% completions. Dave Axis, of course, was on spot as far as receiving. 77 off of 5 completions and 2 touchdowns, splitting those 4 total touchdowns with B. Robo, who also had 2 touchdowns with 120 completions and off of 7 receptions. As I said, defense was on fire too. I wasn't going to mention it, Brian, anyways, just because I'm that kind of guy. The only yeah, that's what it is. The only 2 interceptions that the defense had in the game were made by yours truly. The other game that was played, as you stated, was the Arizona at DC game on Monday Night Spectacular, or Impact Monday. I forget what Kim's calling it now. He's changed it so many times, or Mike Dags calls it so many things. I don't know.
Well, it doesn't help that Mike St. Green comes on here and calls it something else too.
Right. There you go. But I was kind of intrigued in the first half that Arizona was losing at halftime, 13-6. Looks like Arizona was struggling to find their way through most of that first half.
Interesting. Okay.
Just wasn't really playing a full clean game in that one. However, second half rolled around and they outscored their opponent 20-13 24. Well, they scored 24 points in the second half to DC's. I don't know what it was. DC's 10. So,
What was
yeah,
the final?
24
What was the final score in that game?
30-23. So yeah,
Okay.
they outscored them 24-10 in the second half.
Asking
and,
for a friend. I'm not trying
Yeah.
to redo a graphic or
Oh,
anything
no.
right now.
And and I guess so. Arizona got an interception late in the fourth quarter. Ashley Jackson doing her thing like she always does, leading the Scorpions on a game-winning drive at the end of the game to actually win that game 30-23 on a last second touchdown on that drive of the game. So
Okay, now that
Arizona,
I'm sorry, go
Arizona
ahead.
and San Diego, Arizona and San Diego both win. Spoiler alert: all it seems like a right win. So there you go.
Hey Fox, did you see that? I fixed the graphic, bro. The Arizona DC score is on there, and no, it's not from week 6. Okay, Tyler, this is the part of the show where I usually ask you a question and then you answer it based on the West Division. But what I would like to do with that time is I would like to excuse you to go get your Clippers.
Why do you say Tyler again, though?
Oh fuck!
what
Why?
I
I keep saying Tyler. I don't know. Oh my god!
With what hand, sir?
I'm all over the dude. Okay, this is what happens when I multitask. I am not a very good multitasker. Apparently, I am. I can only do 1 to 3 things at a time. When I get into the 4, 5, and 6, I just go to shit. So there you go.
Well, I will be right back.
Yes, you know what I meant. Hey, listen. While you're doing that, we'll move on to Nate to talk about the East Division. I gotta make up. It's all about balance, bro. It's all about. It's you guys in the the East.
Yin and yang.
You guys have yin and yang. We have Nate and Tyler. Oh shit, he got him. You got him. All right. Will Todd is gifting a tier 1 sub to someone. Let's see who got it. Oh, TJ from Baltimore got it. Oh, and they started a hype train. Everybody's all hyped up about this shaving thing and the fact that this is a shit show and we're only 30 minutes into the show. Tyler, would you like to tell us about the East Division?
Sure, Dave. You remember how I said at the beginning of the show that 0 would be a common theme? Well, I've got a common theme going.
I got a common. Yeah, the common theme is I'm talking out my ass half the show, but go ahead.
Right. A lot of these, especially in Atlanta or in this East Division, have to do with running backs, but we'll start with the Atlanta Swarm. Still 0 losses for the Atlanta Swarm. They do it with 0 rushing touchdowns from BDG Hollywood. They have a couple of nice picks. They don't dominate on time of possession. They don't have a really decent day as far as the offense goes, but when they're called upon to pick up some pretty big touchdowns, well, they get 4 passing touchdowns from Bryant Dynasty. So making the most with the time they had, and of course, a Moose Papa now pick 6 doesn't hurt matters either. But right. Atlanta continues to maintain status and their popularity with the rest of the SFL by continuing to be the only team unbeaten in the league. So we move on to the Revolution, and they're 0. They're wonderful. 0 passing touchdowns, 0 rushing touchdowns, 0 points, and 0 takeaways. Yeah, it just wasn't a good day for the Revolution. No. Oh, one more 0. 0 plays over 20 more offensive yards for the Revolution, while their opponents, Tulsa, had 3 plays, 20 yards or over the Revolution. So not a good day at the office at all for Tommy Utah and company, and the defense just unable to force Tulsa off the field. You can look at it yourself. Time of possession, a whopping over 30 minutes for Tulsa compared to Louisiana's measly 13 and a half. Just completely uncorked, unglued, nothing. Tulsa is legit. Please do not sleep on Tulsa. Not that.
Real quick, sorry. Hype train coming. It says you'll have a limited time to earn exclusive emotes. So apparently you can earn emotes with the hype train. Tyler, before Jacob asked you a question, you and Nate, I had been DMing with you guys yesterday. Who was the last team to shut out who, and when was it, and all that stuff?
Oh, that's a fun coincidence, right? So back in season 18, we were talking about this, and it was the Louisiana Revolution shutting out Charleston in Charleston.
Mm.
I have the game pulled up here on, well, nearly a year to the date, March 12th of last year.
So
15
season
zip,
8, season 18,
18.
or 18. Okay.
Season 18. And then all of a sudden it's the Revolution coming and not putting up a single point
Gotcha.
versus Charleston. Quickly, a couple more zeros for you, and they both have to do with Jacksonville and Florida. 0 rushing touchdowns for either star running back. That would be Boletsky, Florida, and that would be for the Jacksonville Kings. That would be 0 rushing touchdowns on Sanders, who had the worst day out of the two, not even eclipsing 50 rushing yards.
Wow. Okay. Fox High when zeros equals also the number of panelists without facial hair. Oh wait. Yeah.
Thanks, Fox.
Oh, wait, hold on. I think I mean, four out of the 5 of us have facial hair, and it's going to be 3 out of 5 in a little bit. But before we get to that, Nate, Jacob, what do you got for Tyler over there?
All right. It really is a shame that season 18 game had to be brought up, but
You're having a rough
I
night already,
expected
bro.
it.
First the San Diego thing, now the Louisiana. You
look,
picked the wrong week to stop sniffing glue.
Yeah, it was gonna happen. It was in that time where I was in the middle of admiration of any coach who has to do both sides of the playbook, because it seemed every week I'd get one side right, the other side was completely wrong. But it's season 18, and we were at least winning games at that point. It's not the case anymore, but rebuild times. But okay, I'm gonna put it back on Tyler because he wanted to bring that up. So let's go back to talking about the Revolution. First of all, I'm filing a grievance form because I had to watch that game. Second of all, first question is, what the hell happened between beating Vancouver and getting shut out completely? Like, looked convincing against Vancouver, and then that happened. And what needs to change in the coming week to resurrect your form as a team?
And rightfully, there's a lot of heat coming on and Louisiana after looking, like you said, Mr. Clear, so dominant and able to come back and win that game versus Vancouver, and for Vancouver to subsequently come out the next week and pull off a little comeback of their own versus Florida. But as far as the Revolution is concerned, it's one of those games that can happen to any team on any given sim day, as we like to call it here in the simulation football. And no one in the Revolution was proud of our this past weekend. There was very little positivity taken out of that game, especially with 0 takeaways, very little movement behind the line at most of the plays. Not all the plays for Tulsa were positive yardage. So it was a complete out game planning via Tulsa. I fully believe, and we can, and us in the rest of Louisiana locker room and coaching staff think that Tulsa game planned us. They looked at everything that we were able to do in the game versus Vancouver and subsequent weeks and put together a game plan that stopped us. Now, it means us changing up our tendencies just a little bit, because obviously what worked against Tulsa is a recipe for other teams to look at and say, hey, exact same thing Tulsa did, we are going to have success against this team. So we'll change for the better. Some of these bumps in the road, we had a bump in the road versus Florida, we had a bump in the road versus Sioux Falls, but it's not something that the Revolution cannot come back from. It's in our name, Revolution. When we are down, we just keep revolving until we're back on top. So yes, this loss stings. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. This was an ugly loss for us, but all good teams will eventually have some bad losses. For example, Michael Jordan in the dominant three-peat era got trounced by Toronto way back in the NBA, right near the end of an NBA season. I can't remember if it was 2001 or 2 or something like that. But regardless, all good teams go through, and we will come back.
Yep.
We will be stronger.
I think, and party people can tell me yes or no, but it sounds like your mic is going in and out, Tyler. Just FYI. I don't know if you're.
It might be
I,
me talking quiet.
all right, I turned
There's
you
that.
up, but it was still doing it. I don't know if it's further away or whatever, but regardless, that's one of the things that's great about the SFL is the parity, right? I mean, Canton beats us, we beat London. I mean, there's just it's all over the place. Like the Florida thing, like you mentioned too. It's any given sim day, you don't know who's going to beat who. LA, beating Sioux Falls this week to get out of their slump. So, all right, Tyler, thanks for covering the East. Let's jump into the Pacific before we get to Gunny. But before we even do that, all right, Tyler, I think you should shave this in oh fuck, Nate, dude, you know what? That's it. Fuck it. All right,
We need name cards. I've decided we need name cards.
I'm switching from now. Next time, Tyler, you're going to be in the middle, and Nate, you're going to be in the end. Nate, you need to.
I get out of the corner?
No, fuck that. No, you can't.
Oh.
you gotta stay there. Okay, Nate, you need to do it in like sections. So like do a section right now, and then we'll move on. We'll do another thing. You do another section. So you'll have like half a face for half the show. No, Bullet, I'm not. I'm all over the place, bro. All right, let's see. All right, I want to see this. I'm glad this is recorded. Wait. Are you muted? Don't mute yourself. I want to hear it. Oh, you can't hear it, Tyler or Nate. Oh shit!
I can't hear you. What do you say?
Wait, we can't hear the Clippers.
I didn't know you wanted to hear it.
Fuck yeah, bro! This is a full show, man. You get the whole thing.
All right. Hold on.
I don't know, I think it's still muting. I don't know what the fuck. I feel gypped here. We're gonna have to make sure we get it right the next time. Is that thing even fucking? It's like you're in the fucking dark, bro.
I don't have good lighting on that.
Dude,
side.
I was like, it's all dark and we can't hear anything.
Hold on, let me
this
try-
is so
let me try to do the
anticlimactic. It's terrible.
Let me try the other side.
All right, hurry, because we got to move on. We're
I know,
believe it or not,
hold
we're
on.
10 minutes behind schedule. Have you ever shaved before?
Yes, I have. Hold on.
You were
It's
in the
like
military.
doing it backwards in the mirror.
Dude, this is fucking terrible. Oh.
Here it is. Okay, I got it.
All right, go ahead. It's so bad. I mean, this is fucking terrible.
This is content, ladies and gentlemen.
Welcome to the SFL, everyone. Oh my God, I'm not even drinking tonight. What the fuck? All right, Tyler, we gotta kill this for right now. Or Nate, sorry, dude. I don't know. I got Tyler on the brain. Fuck it. I'm not even gonna try anymore. I don't even care. All right, let's move on to the Pacific Division. Normally, we have people do their own division, but we did not give Jacob his own division this week. We gave him the Pacific instead. And the biggest story, Jacob, if you ask me, out of this weekend. Coming out of the Pacific is LA finally winning a game and doing it against a pretty good team. So tell us about the rest of the division.
Thanks for bending the story a little bit there, Dave.
You're welcome. You're welcome. That's what I do.
First of all, I sincerely hope that Nate doesn't have to work tomorrow looking like that, because that's going to be an emergency.
I just hope he doesn't fucking hurt himself.
It needs to. That race.
Hey, if
was
worst
very
comes to
fun.
worst, I'll do part of it now and then finish it after the show.
There you go.
Alright, fair enough. So, Pacific Division, this one jumped out at me because a lot of teams with high reputation and not necessarily delivering this season. Obviously, LA, when they first came into the league, were a consistent playoff team, and now, basically down in the pits in terms of form. Obviously, came back out of nowhere this week to beat Sioux Falls. I thought Logan Jack was a standout this week, had a 74-yard TD that sort of stole the show, and Sully Richardson had his best game of the season as well. No picks, 3 TDs. That was a standout performance. Portland as well are a team that were very red hot at the start of the season. They had Ezekiel Love going as he does, and it's sort of it's gone off the rails a little bit since then. They went to Atlanta. Atlanta were too good. BDG Hollywood on digital PEDs, as always, was just far too good for them, and they couldn't really construct anything offensively, which was a bit of a disappointment given what they've been capable of this season. And Seattle, another team, they, as Daniel alluded to early in the show, that they probably should have had that win on the weekend. And I spoke with Seattle's owner Ethan Kai at post game in my broadcast, and he was rather upset at the fact that they couldn't pull it off, and rightfully so. They were very unlucky with how that game turned out, because for quite some time during the game they looked like they had it, and then obviously it just got
I thought
out
they
of their
had it
hands
for
at
dude. I thought they had
the
it.
moment.
I thought they had it. I thought it was over.
Sure.
Hey, real quick. Sorry, Jacob. The Doug Day in the chat would like you to say hello, Dave.
Hello, Dave.
All right, go ahead and finish. Sorry, man. This is what happens on the shows like tonight. We're gonna have 27 bullet points next week. Go ahead.
For sure. No, only thing I'd left is only prediction. Bold one, perhaps, given Portland's success and style of play, but I think Vancouver are the only team that makes the playoffs out of this division, and I think they are a team that are going to ice it very thin if should they do so. I think it's that record standing out a little bit, and they need to start really putting their foot forward, because only barely beaten Florida on the weekend. That was the other game I didn't touch on, was that 44-42 game with Florida that they almost lost. It was a bit of a crazy game, that first game on the weekend, and they haven't shown enough defensively this season. I think they've gotten the job done with their offense when they've won, but there's been a few games where I think there's been some question marks about their defensive football. So I think that's a point of interest as we enter the next few weeks as to whether or not they can ice some more games.
So, Jacob, let me ask you. Here's my question for this division to you. At the beginning of this season, especially in the preseason, in the first couple of weeks, all the panelists, including myself, we talked about how this is Vancouver's division and everybody else is just visiting, basically, right? Then Seattle showed a little bit. Portland had a great first several weeks, and I spent, I think, a week or two in first place until it flip-flopped again this week, I think. Do you see this division now leveling out? And as I assume you do, because you said Vancouver's going to be the only team, or you still see a Portland or a Seattle possibly giving them a run, or even making a run for the playoffs? I know you said you only think Vancouver's going to make it, but do you think Portland now is leveled out, or do you think Portland can still make a run? And I mean, they're only one game behind Vancouver right now in the division, and they were in first place last week. So are you really counting Portland out, I guess, is my question at this point?
No, that was a prediction more so anything than what how I feel about it. It's, obviously it is easy to forget that Portland is so close to them at the moment, and even Seattle are 2 wins off the pace, and I just now slowly starting to understand their quarterback style of play, because Charles Playton is such a unique player in the game with the way that he approaches his passes, and just little things like that. Vancouver have got to sort of watch their backs a little bit here, because it is such a congested division, and even LA, obviously it hasn't been this season, but wrong division. Yeah.
Oh no,
it
LA.
hasn't been there.
Yeah, no, LA hasn't. Yeah, you're right.
Routinely, it have been much better, and I think if looking forward, the more that Seattle understand the roster that they have, and obviously Doug Day is going to aid a heap with their ability to retain players, and it sounds like that group is quite tightly bound now, and that's a very good sign for them. And even if the wins aren't coming now, the more that they understand the tools they have available to them, the more likely they are to make a real run at this division. And obviously Portland are still thereabouts no matter what happens, just sheerly through the quality of Ezekiel Love and their rushing offense. And the more that they work out how to play consistently, the more likely they are to topple Vancouver. It just doesn't look like Vancouver's division anymore.
Yeah, I I still think you're right. I agree with you. I think Vancouver's the only team that's going to make the playoffs in the division. I think it's going to be their division for one more season. But Jacob, I think for sure that gap has closed significantly over the past few seasons.
Sure.
All right, Jacob, thanks for the Pacific Division. We're going to go cut to Gunny's Firewatch in a moment. But before we do, Nate, I think what you should do is this, instead of trying to mess around with this stuff, is I think you should just go right down the middle. So let's see if you could do that real quick before we go to Gunny. Let's see if we could. That would be, and plus you'll look really cool for the rest of the show.
What I'll do is I'll do one strip from the bottom up
Okay.
and just leave it like that
Perfect.
for a majority of the
That's
show.
exactly what I was hoping for.
If I could see it, like I just need a mirror.
Dude,
Fucking sucks.
didn't the military teach you how to shave, bro?
Dude, I had a mirror in the military, dude. For real.
Well, you have a camera here. Just do it off of your
That's what I'm trying to do.
face
like,
on the show.
It's just straight up, Nate.
Dude, I know. It's literally just
up.
go, bro. Just go. Just do it. Just do it, Nate. Just do it.
there it is.
There you go,
There it
Nike.
is.
Just do it, Nike.
There it is.
He needs actual clippers, Fox says.
Yep.
Never
That's
mind.
what I need, honestly.
Oh, my God. That's fucking hilarious. Well, while you're
Yep.
finishing that up,
There it
Gunny,
is.
let me bring Gunny in real quick. And then I guess we'll do some more of that later, Nate. Gunny, how you doing, bud?
Dave, do you know how many military barbers could have already shaved their heads by now at Paris Island?
Yeah, you're right. I know.
It's-
I'm a disappointment to the military
This
and
is
everything.
just
Fine.
it's just terrible. It's comical and it's dark, so we can't even really see it anyway. Gunny, how you doing? How you doing this week, bud?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing great. This is the segment of the show, everybody, where Gunny comes on. It's Gunny's Fire Watch. He comes on to let us know who's on fire and who to watch. And with that being said, Gunny, go ahead and take it away.
Good evening to all the party people of the SFL community. This weekend, and we had 11 games. 7 home teams won, 4 away teams won. I'm sorry to my defensive brothers. I do not have any stats for the Week 8 games for our defensive gold medalists, silver medalists, and bronze medals for their selected categories. And also remember, this weekend is week 9 of the Survivor Pool. This is, I believe, double pick week. So let's hope Gunny picks some winning teams. All right, now on to the categories. The highest point total for this past week, 44, shared by Vancouver and Los Angeles. Passing yards, 464 by Florida, 411 by Vancouver, 406 by Indianapolis. Passing attempts leader, 52, Florida, 45, Motor City, 44, Indianapolis. Pass completions, 41, Florida, 32, Motor City, 31, Indianapolis. Passing TDs, 5 by Florida and by Indianapolis. Rushing yards, the leader, 213 yards, Los Angeles Lycans. Was second was Houston at 156, and third was Portland. Rushing attempts, 30 by Tulsa, 29 by Los Angeles, Portland, and Alamo City. Rushing TDs, 4, Alamo City. Second place was 3, Los Angeles Lycans. Targets for receptions, Seattle 16, that was David Gears. Second was 15, Indianapolis, Ryan Roosevelt. Receptions made, 12 by Indianapolis, Roosevelt. 11 was shared by Vancouver, Justice Blackwell, Florida's Stephen Bush, and Seattle's David Gears. Receiving yards leaders, 175 by Greg Soto, Alamo City, 165 by Atlanta's Bo Chisholm, and 156 by Queen City's Doug Spelling. Receiving TDs was 3 each by Florida's Stephen Bush and Indianapolis Ryan Roosevelt. Dave, that is it for my segment. Good luck to everyone in week 9. Good luck, and that is all.
All right, Gunny, thank you very much for that. Appreciate you each and every week. Ladies and gents, that is Gunny's Fire Watch, letting us know week to week who's on fire and who we need to watch. Also in the chat, Mike O'Neill asking if Nate's beard grew back. No, bro, he just doesn't know how to shave it off. Oh, that's hilarious. We're gonna jump around a little bit. We're running behind schedule. I know that's really hard to believe, but we're gonna go to the owner's box because I let these owners know that. Oh, let's see if they're here yet. If they're they're here. Hold on, Dwayne's here. Let me see. Colin, where are you
Hold on,
at?
Dave. Look into my camera.
Oh, that's so terrible. Oh, that gives me the heebie-jeebies, bro. I'm not really down there. We need a roast of Dave Axe's special. No, we don't. We don't need to. We do not need. Oh my God, Bo Martin Jr. in the chat. I'm not saying that out loud. Colin is here now too. I let these owners know to be here around 10 o'clock, so I don't want them to wait another 15, 20 minutes while we go through the other divisions and Diva of the Week. So when we get to 10 o'clock, they pop on and we move the show around for them. So ladies and gentlemen, this week we have the two of the co-owners from the Motor City V8s, formerly the St. Louis Gladiators. Dwayne and Colin are with us. Colin, how you doing, buddy?
I'm good, Dave, but I'm gonna spend this week trying to forget the Alamo after I had to spend it chasing the back of staring at the back of those artillery jerseys all night long. So.
I get you. So you guys in the Motor City V8 store will be a new T-shirt that says "Forget the Alamo."
Something like that.
Something like that.
But
there you go. All right, Colin, welcome to the show, bro. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Dave. Happy to be here.
You got it. Dwayne is here, folks. Dwayne, how you doing, buddy? Welcome back to the show, man.
Thanks, Dave. Finally back. It's been a minute, but happy that you got us on.
It has been a minute, and you won some Axis swag recently for something. What did you win that for? Do you remember?
That was for one of the surveys you did.
Oh, okay. One of the questions.
I want one drawing on the questions.
Okay. Awesome. And I got your picture today, so I'll be putting that in the server here in the next day or two. So I appreciate that. Let me ask real quick, who got to the SFL first between you two? Because I want to ask them the first question.
I think Colin. Because I was I didn't officially join until season 7.
Okay. Colin, when did you get to the SFL and how did you hear about the SFL?
Well, how I got to the SFL was kind of a unique story. I have to give a little hat tip to TJ because he came doing play-by-play for a tag match, and he happened to mention the SFL, and the description was in the video. And this was a long time ago. This was one of the early years. It wasn't the ground floor, but it was like, if the SFL was like a big building, this is like the second or first floor. But
what season are we talking, Colin?
Man, I think it was season like 4, maybe 5, maybe.
Season 4 or 5, okay. You're about the third or fourth owner to come on here and say that TJ is the reason you found the SFL. That's crazy.
Yeah, and it all came from a video. I wasn't even directly involved like a lot of the other guys.
That's insane. So, Colin, when you got to the SFL, what did you do first? I'm assuming you just became a player, or did you just check it out for a while, or how did your journey begin in the SFL?
I actually didn't become a player at first. I became a player around the season sort of 7 time frame. I actually jumped into coaching with both feet first.
So let me move over to Dwayne for a second. So Dwayne, then you got here in season 7, and how did you hear about the SFL, and how did you happen to stumble upon it?
Well, I found my copy of All Pro Football 2K8 when I was setting up for a yard sale, and my Xbox was broken at the time. Uh, but I was trying to. Uh, I decided to keep that game on. Like, I gotta get another Xbox, and I'm gonna do a season of this. And so I was looking up how to build teams, and I stumbled upon the old 2K 8 forums, and was reading these articles about some of the leagues that used to exist, and online games, and things they did with legend teams, and there were people on there like T Pat and True Shot Color and Lord Destro and Mighty RX, and I didn't know these guys from Adams, but then uh, Destro had a link to the SFL's old website, and I clicked on that, and then when I'm reading through all this, and I'm like I was just fascinated by the whole concept, and the AI concept of it, and and these are guys that were about my age, and my level of experience, and as far as interests and stuff like that. And then I see this flashing link, and it's a live playoff game, and I was watching a preseason game at the time, just not a very interesting game. And so I turned on this playoff game, and it that was E.R. Sims' rookie season with the Baltimore Crabs against the Tallahassee Pride, and he came back and scored like 5 touchdowns in the second half, and they still lost the game to Tallahassee. And Tallahassee moved on, and I watched the whole rest of the playoffs, and I followed it for 2 seasons, and then when they were advertising about expanding the league, and um, uh, they had kind of a get in the game segment that they were playing during the playoffs of season 6, and I'm like, I gotta sign up for this. And so yeah, here I am. What is it? 13 seasons later.
Right. So, Colin, how who you got to the SFL first, but did you and Dwayne go in together to get to I assume it wasn't to buy it at the time, to create the St. Louis Gladiators, or how did that come about for you to become an owner, and how did Dwayne get involved?
Well, I had been involved with the organization that had been formerly known as the uh, San Francisco Bulldogs, eventually rebranding to the LA Sharks, but that's a whole other story for another time. And I actually spent season 7 as a player at first with what is now the Mexico City Aztecs, back when they were the Santa Fe Gorillas. Sometime I eventually decided to apply for my own team. In fact, when the assets of the San Francisco Bulldogs were up for sale, I had thought about going into myself before joining it. A couple other people as kind of an assistant guy. So I put the team together first, but eventually quickly realized that the people I had on board to try and help me coach ended up bailing pretty quickly. So that's when I had to throw Dwayne a lifeline. He had been on the coaching staff. He had to take on a much bigger role than expected.
So, what season was that when you guys became owner? Well, actually, so the team that you got was that San Francisco team, and then you rebranded them, or how did that go?
I was part of helping the guys who rebranded the same.
Okay.
I didn't own it.
Okay. So
We got an expansion team in season 8, and I came in as the offensive coordinator.
Okay, in the same season though, season 8.
Season 8, yeah. I've played one season with the Queen City Corsairs. We got bounced out of the first round of the playoffs, and then Colin, I was offered a defensive coordinator job for a Kansas City franchise, but he changed his mind. He went on the coaching staff of Cleveland for a few seasons, and then Colin hit me up and offered me the offensive coordinator job, and I stepped in like Colin was saying because we had some problems with the rest of the coaching staff, and I was trying to help him get the team reorganized and turn the season around. And we won 3 of our last 5 games, and we finished 4-8 that first season.
So that's not too bad. Colin, as you finished four, or what was it? Would you say the record was, Dwayne?
4-8.
4-8 that first season. Colin, tell me, how did the next few seasons go? As was the league starting to grow yet, or was it still kind of like not very many people? And how successful was your team out the gate?
We weren't very successful at the gate. In fact, if you look over the historical record, we continued to struggle, and part of the problem was we had people that were interested in coming to help coach, but there were often clashes with other people involved. We had Liam Crowder for a long time, but then James Richards made a big sale pitch, and then eventually his build was so radical at that time. This was well before 20 plus players on a roster, but it's definitely more than the original base game. But we were running with no wide receivers, running back and fullback and tight end. But it just wasn't working. There were all sorts of ego clashes. Never really get out of our way for a while.
So, Dwayne, let me go back to you. Let's jump forward a little bit. I got here. I started watching things in season 13. Got drafted in season 14. St. Louis was already, a regular team in the SFL that's been here for a while. They were a namesake already. That's the season you guys grabbed Johnny Pickler as the number one player in the draft, which was great for, the whole media hype thing, the televised draft for the first time, all the people that went there, like Phoenix Jones and Eddie and Andy and all those guys. It was a great draft. It really, I think, helped with the momentum of the league. Start me kind of at that point with Johnny. So you had this team that you guys got in expansion, started putting it together, went through the things that Colin just said, and now we're at season 14, and you get Johnny, and the league is booming. Walk us through that process of getting Johnny and becoming competitive and making the playoffs and that kind of thing.
Well, season 14 it's a special season. It was definitely a watermark season for us. We finished at 500. We made the playoffs for the first time. We beat some teams that we had struggled against before that, and the whole thing started with us getting Gerald as the head coach that season. He got fired when there was a reorganization with London. It was a little bit controversial at the time, and they rebounded, and it turned out, I think, for the best in the long run. But Gerald was a free agent, and Matthew Slynn, and so uh, we were trying to get some momentum going on coaching because we had gone through like a lot of coaching staff, and I've had to like take over midway, taking over either the offense or the defense, like uh, pretty much every season. At some point we were shuffling things around, so we wanted to get that consistency and build a championship team. So uh, Johnny, he came out of uh, uh, esports league for the NBA, and he was one of the general managers over there, and uh, he he was giving a sales pitch about marketing and getting interest in your team through social media, and all this, and we knew that we wanted to change the image, change the culture, like Gerald was saying. So we had a quarterback at the time that was a young kid that rubbed a lot of people the wrong way and just wasn't very much a leader in the locker room. And Johnny approached Gerald and was interested, and he really impressed Gerald. And uh, uh, and the other quarterback, he was being wishy-washy about whether he was going to come back for us, and we're like, well, we got the number one draft pick. If we don't pull the trigger and get Johnny, somebody else is going to get him, and he's a franchise player. That's what we need. And yeah, it all went well for us.
Right.
And that did turn it around to where even though we were rebuilding the next season, we were able to build upon what we had. We had brought in some good people. We got Drew, I believe, season season 12. He came in as he was signed off the waiver wire after the draft, and he's been with us, and he's moved up from scouting to assistant coach to taking over head coach, general manager. He
Right.
was he was a minority owner for a while, but I think that that was the point in which we really learned how to put together a team based on what we were looking for in personality and building a culture and building a family, and that's what started to get us the consistency. And then we made the playoffs 3 of the next 5 seasons
Right.
after
Let me
not having
let
made it before.
me jump over to
Sorry.
Colin. Yeah, no, that's okay. Let me jump to Colin. I want to ask Colin. So, Colin, let's pick up where Dwayne left off. Then you move into season 15. We have that crazy supplemental draft with like 7 rounds. You get a bunch of names that become household names in the league, like Winkler and Eagle and all those guys. And then you guys really start to go on a run. Take me through like season 15 through 18 with this whole group of players that you had and making the playoffs, I think, for the first time in that.
Well, we made the playoffs again with this group, and it was really when you started to build off of what we had done in that season 14. Even though season 15 record wise, yes, we did take a step back and we had some people leave because they figured with Johnny leaving, they're going to have to pick a quarterback again. You realize before that we had gone through like 3 consecutive 2-10
Right.
seasons.
Right.
I know people like to make fun of Tyler and his memes. Memes for the 2-10 prediction, that we actually went through 3 consecutive years of that stuff. So it was a lot of slog to try and get there. And, we played a lot of close games, and we had the likes of Javier Vasquez quarterbacking for us after Johnny left, and he did some coaching for a time, and so on and so forth. And it was just really beneficial. And I think it was after those times from 15 to 18, I think, when people started to take us serious.
So, Colin, let me stay with you. I'm going to ask you and Dwayne maybe one more question. We're coming up on time right now, but tell the people listening, what was the main reason? What was the catalyst, if you will, for the branding change from the St. Louis Gladiators to the Motor City V8s?
Well, the change, it had to do more with the fact that I happen to live in Michigan. I was born here. I grew up here. And, I've been to school. And I just thought it was a unique opportunity. And we had looked for corporate sponsors while we were the St. Louis Gladiators the whole time, and basically came up with nothing, or nothing too suitable. Like, we had reached out to some people, but we hadn't heard back. So eventually my dad, who's CEO of a bank, he does broadcast with me. Everybody knows all about the meter and stuff, but
Right.
he's like, hey, if you guys want to move to Detroit, we'll help you pay for the branding fees, but we'll do something in exchange. And he's like, you can use the bank colors, and that'll be the name of the stadium. Actually, the stadium name came first, then the banking colors. I'll let Dwayne finish it.
Okay. So Dwayne, pick up where he left off, and then we're gonna wrap up in about a minute or so.
So I got 90 seconds.
Yeah. Pretty much. Pretty much wrap it up.
Well, yeah. I think that the other important things that came out of it is that it, we had really liked the Matt Doyle design, but teams were rebranding after his contract with the league expired, and we're trying to get an image that more fit us, and bringing Rick on board, and getting a partnership that seemed to be, and give us opportunities to bring on other future partners in that area. And so we branded it with an identity that's more call in, and more the team, and more what we're all about. We I really kind of like that, the identity we built with the St. Louis Gladiators, like the underdog, fight to the last whistle, single bar city kind of thing, and we built that image from the ground up, and we earned that. But this this gave us a fresh chance. We're going to a new game, and so uh, it's a new era, and so uh, it gives us a chance to kind of start fresh and build our identity upon what we
Right.
already had in St. Louis.
Right. All right. Well, listen, we're up against the clock, but here's what I'd like to do. First of all, thank you both for coming on the show, giving us a history of St. Louis, but the both of you, some SFL history. We really appreciate that. I love the branding. I love the rebranding that you guys have done. I love the colors. Blue and orange are my two favorite colors anyway, so I think they go great together. And I'm looking forward to meeting both of you in the convention. And what I'd like to do is maybe get you guys back on later in the season, or maybe even in the off season, depending on how things go, because I'd like to get your take on a few other things we just were not able to get to. You guys cool with that?
Absolutely,
Yeah, that
anytime.
sounds good.
Okay, awesome. All right, folks, the Motor City V8 owners, co-owners, Colin and Dwayne, and I believe you guys have a third owner, don't you? Is Drew an owner now?
No, Drew stepped back into being general manager. He and head coach. He's more comfortable with those roles. But uh, Rick Northrup is our basically our silent partner. He owns part of it as part of the branding deal, but he basically lets Colin and I call the shots
Gotcha.
and run the team.
Perfect. All right. Well, thank you guys for being on. Appreciate it. Looking forward to meeting you at the convention, and can't wait to get you back on again.
Thanks,
All
Dave.
right.
You got it, guys.
Thanks, Dave.
You're welcome. Thank you. All right, guys. That was Dwayne and Colin from Motor City, the Owner's Box segment, and we are going to move on to the Central Division. I think Tyler, or fucking A. Nate. I know Tyler. I was just going to say, I like your cat. Nate, we might have to wait till the end of the show, like when we're signing off, and you could just we'll sign off and you shave off. How about that? Central Division going up to Daniel.
Yeah, I said we already did the Central Division. This is gonna be a bullet
Oh my
point.
God! I was like, I'm looking, dude. I was confused. I'm looking. I'm like, wait a minute. Didn't we already do that? This is
Yeah, I
great.
think it's the
All right.
Atlantic. Then.
You know what? What the hell? Let's get crazy. Let's do the Atlantic. What the hell? You never
Okay,
know.
let's get crazy.
All
Since
right.
the two best teams had a bye anyway, so it's gonna be short.
There you go. Beautiful. That's what I need right now in my life.
And I'm not gonna hassle Jacob too much. He's had it rough, and we're buddies. Best thing to note: next week you're facing DC. You're both points for pretty close. If you win, You get above them, you might not be last.
There you go. Boom. Easy.
Always a bright side to it, right?
There's always a silver lining, bro.
But yeah, the Atlantic Division is still Baltimore, even though they had a bye week. They're still number one. I think the last time I was here, I said I was really excited for the Carolina Charleston game because I wanted to see what they would both do. Carolina has actually really improved and surprised me a whole lot, even though they had a bye this week. But the fact that they're 4-2 in a spot where they usually falter, you would almost want to say, because they always lose close games. But now they're winning, and it's such a different feel and effect. DC, it's all about the running game, and right now the running game is not carrying them like they usually would. But Kevin say, 130 points so far in this season is very low for a team. And the fact that they're giving up 160, so it's a negative 27.
Yeah.
Their defense is playing okay, but their offense is just not there. Charleston, same way with you guys. Hopefully, you said you're in a rebuilding year season, so hopefully you get your players progressed up, and we'll see what the next season goes. But yeah, I'll make it short and sweet. Atlantic still runs through Baltimore.
Yeah, exactly. And then real quick, before Jacob asks you his question, you think Carolina's a surprise team of the entire league this season with how well they've done?
So I would have two. Carolina's one of them. I think Fort Worth having a step back from running back. It's like they're having a major step back from running back. He's actually playing really well to what I thought they were going to be doing.
That's actually a great point. Jacob, what do you got?
That's a good point, and it was very big when that came through, that Ike McBride signing, because finally Shane Varner gets a power back. That's what he's ran with historically, and finally gets that player, and she's been just astronomical this season in terms of the production. But okay, my question is pretty simple: is there a way back for DC this season?
I say there is, as long as they can get their offense going. If their offense keeps sputtering like the way there's 130 is like one of the lowest. I think it's 133, 135, and Camden's at 94.4, which is historically low, I would almost say, at this point in the season. So they need to get their offense settled. Their defense is playing fine. Their defense is okay, but the offense, they need to pick it up. As of right now, if they can't get Kevin Sago, or they can't get the quarterback synergy going, they're dead in the water, I'm afraid, at this point.
Yeah, thank you for that, Daniel. I would just add to, I think DC's got San Diego, Vegas, and Baltimore still left on their schedule again, right? So that's not an easy task, to be honest with you. All right, Daniel, thank you very much for whipping through the Atlantic quick and trying to get us caught back up. Let's see if Nate can bring us the Nate broadcaster energy and speed on the South Division. What do you got, Nate?
I got you, bro. So Fort Worth had a bye week this week, and the other three won. There you go. No.
Okay.
I'll go. I'll go a little bit further into depth. Houston was the first game that played on Friday night. Dave Burr had a really good night with 3 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. Really quick note on the offense. GP Wells, the running back, and DR Sim, the wide receiver, both matched in yards with 143 each on the ground and receiving, respectively. DR Sim had 3 touchdowns in that game. Kai Cash on defense had a pick 6, the highlight of their defense. Moving on to Mexico City, who had their win. Sorry. Hold on, give me 1 second. I'm trying to do really fast things over here, and it's not working out too well. So, like I was saying, Mexico City had their win over Canton, 37-10. Had a pretty easy time. Their defense was spot on practically the entire game. The only touchdown that they allowed was in garbage time late in the fourth quarter of that one. Jordan Sight just continues to impress for Mexico City. 3 touchdowns, 1 interception, over 70% completions. Leading the team, Phoenix Jones is in rushing 70 yards and a touchdown. But the wide receivers were the stars of the show on offense. Lockett had 2 touchdowns. Jason Bartley had 1, both with almost 150 yards combined in that one. And finally, Alamo City got their victory in their game. I want to say over Queen City,
No.
if I remember.
This week?
No. Was it?
No, it's
Hold
Motor
on.
City. Motor City.
Yeah, you're right. It was Motor City. Sorry. I am trying. So 34-17 over Motor City. Over 400 yards total offense by Alamo City in that game. Over 80% completion percentage by Ace Finnick. Brad Jones had over 130 yards rushing and 4 touchdowns. And interception by Gunny in that game on defense. And those were the highlights.
So I'm going to ask you a quick question and answer it in like 30 seconds.
Yeah.
I'm pulling up the standings for the South right now. It's been pretty much Mexico City, I think. I know Fort Worth and Alamo City have been in there. Houston just, they're just playing from behind the entire season right now. Mexico City's at 5-2, Fort Worth 4-2, and Alamo City 4-3. This has been a division season after season that puts consistently 3 teams in the playoffs, and in one season they even put 4. Are we even going to see 2 from this division this season?
I think you count Houston out this season with as many losses that they have already. With the way all 3 teams are playing right now, I'm going to go out on a limb and say all 3 teams make it that are still left standing.
So here's what I'm thinking though, Nate, and I don't want to spend too much time on it, but there's a 5-team. I think Mexico City's won 5 games, and the other teams have won 4 in there, right?
Right.
I don't think 4 right now probably gets you 7 at the end of the season. There's going to be some 7-5 teams that don't make the playoffs this season, I think.
It just depends on strength of schedule, though, and you got to remember Fort Worth beat Baltimore, so they might be on the upside of a 7-5 record.
That's a good point too.
So, if Alamo City ends up 8-4, and with the same record as Mexico City, and then Fort Worth is the only team in that trio schedule over Baltimore at that win, I can see all 3 teams easily making the playoffs at the end of the season, and Mexico City getting that rookie quarterback Jordan Sipe in the playoff or second season quarterback in the playoffs.
All right, let's see. Well, we'll see what happens. Nate, thanks for whipping through that real quick. Get your Clippers ready here in a few minutes. The North Division is where we'll be wrapping up before we get into Diva of the Week and then Pick'ems, and then that's going to be the show. Tyler, the North Division. It's been kind of crazy, bro. It's all over the place. It's almost like nobody really wants to win it, almost, right? I've got that feeling like it's like, mediocre might be good enough. We're okay, whatever. What do you think?
Well, let's see. After I get turned into a launch pad by my cat, there we go. Anywho, like I said, 0 is going to be a number all night long, and going to be the inverse of the South Division. It's like South North. Where have I heard that before? Maybe 1850 rings a bell. Anywho, instead of winning, everybody lost except for London. And London was only spared because they were on a bye. So let's cut this down, and I'll try and be quick here, Dave. We'll try and do a Chris Berman 2-minute drill on this. A true 2-minute drill on this. Canton held scoreless in the second and third quarter. Cameron Curtis, the quarterback for Canton, had the inverse of his counterpart in terms of passing touchdowns and interceptions. He had 3 interceptions to 1 touchdown. His counterpart, Mexico City, 3 passing touchdowns, 1 interception. The lone interception for the Canton Classics was held by Bob Funk, and the only passing touchdown was caught by Kendra Wells. No rushing touchdowns, another 0 for the tailback, Robert Johnson. On to Motor City's ball game. Motor City held scoreless in the first quarter, didn't score a field goal or any points until the second quarter, and that's pretty much just how the day would go for them. Motor City would it converted on about 50% of their third downs, but just couldn't convert them when it mattered, and so Motor City held to a loss. Final score in that one, 34-17. Abraham Carrera, 1 passing touchdown, 1 interception. He didn't do half bad of a game, but the real struggle was the running game. Only 17 yards from Christopher Dean on the ground and no rushing touchdowns for him. On to the final game. Queen City, of course, there's a couple of number zeros for Queen City. 0 points until the fourth quarter. And also, they still have that goose egg in the win column. So Queen City struggling to even get back to their old glory days, and it seems like a long, long time. How many years has it been since Queen City won a championship? Petra Sharma remembers. Anywho, no passing touchdowns, of course. Check that. 2 passing touchdowns for John Lakeman, rookie quarterback. He's had a struggle in Queen City to begin his rookie campaign. 2 interceptions on the day as well for him. No rushing touchdowns for Jet Zero, and only 27 yards for Jet Zero. Come on.
Jet who?
Jet Zero,
Hey-yo.
0 yards. Here we
Thank
go.
you, folks.
Another 0.
Hey, and
come on. How many more?
To add to that, so first of all, that's what Pepperidge Farm sounds like when you're talking really fast. Second of all, Fox added to that. London played 0 games this week and took over the division lead. And
by half a game.
By half a game. And thirdly, Jacob, what's your question for Tyler? And Jacob, do you think we should just do the show, letting Tyler do the entire league in 2 minutes, and then we can have like a 5-minute show and be done?
Yeah, that was very efficient.
Very efficient.
I can't say it would be fair on the other two to single Tyler out as the only analyst, but
well, at least I didn't call him Nate, so there's that.
True. My only question is, see, with all due respect, these other 3 teams at this point in the season are already looking ahead. London is the only team really jumping out at me that still has a chance to make a run here. This was a team that had last season made a deep playoff run, and subsequently in the offense lost very little, and even still they had Tanner Hendricks swiped off them by some organization. The name escapes me. But even then, when they lost Tanner Hendricks, they replaced him with a player of similar value in Mike Jones. My question in 2 parts is, where did it go wrong so far this season for London? And again, similar to DC, what is the path to get back to the playoffs?
Well, I'll tell you right now here, Jacob, is the truth is the matter is London has won at home, and that's the only place they have won this season. So London has to do better on away games. If I can just quickly find London real quick. I mean, they've lost all 3 of their away games. They lost in Canton. They lost in San Diego. They lost in Arizona. 3 quality teams with above 500 record or more. Their home wins have come against one team. They've given the only loss to Las Vegas in week 3, and they've only beaten Denver and Queen City on top of that. Both of those teams are below 500. Denver 2-4, and Queen City the unmentioned 0-7 team. So London, if London really wants to take firm control of this division, they're going to have to win on the road, and that means them having to go and play at home versus Fort Worth next week, which won't help their cause in the away category very much, but they're going to have to do better on the road if they really want to take care of business. They're on a 2-game winning streak, and they have to play some tough opponents in that South Division, right? They have to play Fort Worth next week, a team that just beat Baltimore and is coming off of a bye, if I remember correctly. This is going to be a tough game for both teams in both regards. It's really going to tell us what kind of team London is. Because if they can win all their home games, they got a shot at being 6-6 and being division leader the way this division's going. But it's going to be a game like they've never seen before against London, against Fort Worth.
It's actually kind of a shame that we just don't do the top however many teams anymore. I mean, listen, I actually like divisions better. I think it's better for the game. But it's almost a shame, Tyler, that you could have a sub 500 team make the playoffs because they won their division, yet have a 7-5 team not make it because they were in a tough division, right? Just that's.
But to counterpoint your argument, then we never have beast mode.
No counterpoints.
There's
no counterpoints allowed, bro. Go ahead. What?
I mean, we never have beast mode. We never have Seattle going below 500 in the NFL and coming away with a big scamper that really puts Seattle really on the map.
I think a team like last season's Tulsa might disagree with you.
Oh, I'm just saying. Here's the thing: Tulsa didn't get out because there was a a sub 500 team. If I
no,
remember
they
correctly.
lost. No, they lost to 7-5 tiebreaker teams. You're right, but.
Right.
If that happens this year, I mean, could you imagine if Tulsa doesn't make it because
I don't think that'll happen.
Yeah, because
I think
London
Tulsa
or
gets in first.
Canton. I agree with you, but I'm just saying that could happen. All right, we got to move on. But thank you, Tyler. Appreciate the North breakdown. All right, folks, Diva of the week. We're gonna do something here. We're gonna announce something, I guess you will. That has only happened once in the history of the Diva of the Week. This is the third season we've done Diva of the Week. And it went all the way back to the beginning of season 18. No, was I here? 17. Season 17, where we actually had a tie for Diva of the Week. We've only had it. It's been one time. It was very early on in the second season that we did the show. And that was season 17. We have another tie, ladies and gents. And here we go. Your co-Divas of the Week for week 7 in the SFL are none other than Benji Matson and the Fort Worth Toros, both with 35% of the vote. That means those two combined 70% of the vote. Fort Worth had jumped out to a big lead. Benji came back, took the lead by a vote or two. Fort Worth tied it up at almost at the buzzer. And I don't remember let me see if I have the exact total number. We had over 60 something people vote, almost 70, I think, if I'm not mistaken. Let me see if I have the numbers. Yeah, it was like 26 apiece or something like that they had. So 50 something votes just between the two of them. It was pretty crazy. So congrats to Benji and Fort Worth. We'll put you in the server, and you'll put into the drawing, or not the drawing, the voting for Diva of the Year. Eddie Gage, if Dave Axis would have accepted my late entry, we wouldn't have had a tie. Hey, I disrespect people. Wait, you're talking, Eddie's saying disrespect. You know what's disrespectful, Eddie? Being late. How about that? Okay. All right. Let's go on to our nominees for this week. Yes, Benji. Oh, Benji's in the chat. Attaboy. And I don't know if Nacho and Hacker are still in there, but congrats, you guys, for being voted co-divas of the week. Let's move on to this week's Divas of the Week nominees. Daniel, who's your Diva of the Week nominee for week 7? Did we split week 7? Shit. Dude, I got to tell you, the Jack's Data thing screwed me up, man.
Yeah, so for this week, I think a Diva represents someone, even though they lost, can still show how good they are as a person. And I think being number 1 in all-time pass yards is worthy of a Diva Week. So my pick is Julian Tyree for the Sioux Falls Sparrows.
I agree.
Plus funny Matt's coming up in the clip.
I agree that. Here we go.
It's loud.
With the Xbox.
Tyree goes deep down the middle of the field, picks up a first down to Cave Marion. 23-yard gain. And that's not going to do it because she lost 2 yards on the previous play.
Yep.
Actually, it's 162. Julian Tyree just broke the record. Passes Matt Wilson. Tyree got him in. Came in down to the 1-yard line. Could have picked up the touchdown.
Eddie, dude, first of all, Damon was pretty excited, but Damon jacked up his defining moment. Yeah, Daniel, I think he was too busy trying to do math or something, right?
Yeah, he was trying to figure out what yards happened before to this. Is like he's a Diva Week himself.
He's like, wait, -2, carry the 1. Oh, that was, well, there you go. Either way, and I just looked up the scores. This is week 8, by the way. So, all right, Daniel, there's your first week 8 Diva of the Week nominee. Moving on to number 2. That's not what I want. That's not what I want either. There we go. Dude, I'm all over the place today. Holy shit balls. There you go. All right. Nate, because it's Nate that's sitting in the middle, that's shaving his beard. It's Nate. It's not Tyler. It's Nate. Nate, who is your Diva of the Week nominee for week 8, Nate?
My nominee for this week is none other than the kicker for the Tulsa Desperados, Brooke Beisel, who tied, I should say, a single season record with 7 total field goals in their game against Louisiana this past weekend.
And let's hear who was on the column during this clip.
What do you got for us?
couple stinkers tonight, Nick, but
Yes,
wild
it is.
game in
Oh, no, it's
Tulsa
not.
all the same.
No, it's not.
Tulsa's up 28-0.
Come on, bro. I can only
not
miss-
because
I
of
can
4
miss up
touchdowns.
a lot,
It's
but
because of
not every-
7 Brooke Beisel field goals, tying an SFL record. Louisiana has 109 yards of total offense, and the game is almost over. Tulsa on their way to 5-2.
Wow.
7 field goals? 7 field goals. All right. Well, didn't think I'd see that tonight, but I guess that just shows you what I know.
Well, Bice is going to cost a fortune in fantasy football next week.
All right, there you go, folks. Was that 7 field goals? Is that what I heard?
7?
Don't remind me.
7 field goals?
Remind me.
7? That was a really high pitched voice you got there, Nate. All right, Tyler. Who's your Week 8 Diva of the Week nominee?
I said 0 was going to be the theme the evening for me, and it's keeping up right now. Coming into the week, Sully Richardson, as we all know, is Sully Richardson giveth, Sully Richardson taketh away, and of course, he's been giving it away more often than not. He is double coming into this last week's game in total of interceptions to touchdowns, 14-17. This week, he had 0 interceptions and 3 touchdowns to finally get the 0 out of the win column for LA.
Too close to me. That was Jack Flash right there. Get off on Ludacris song. Move. Get out the way. Here is Richardson. 5-step drop. Gets pressured. Right down the middle. Touchdown. Elsie Pryor, number 2.
And there you go. All right, so there's 3 down. And we go to Jacob. By the way, Holdorf isn't here tonight. I think I mentioned that earlier in the show. These may not be in the server tonight to vote on. They may not be in there until the morning, but they will be in there by tomorrow. Who is our 4th Week 8 Diva of the Week nominee, Jacob?
Okay, I think I've got to put some charisma into this because I haven't so far in the show. I'm going to take you to the Motor City Alamo City game, and in a losing effort for the V8s, my guy, Guy Clawson, returns his first ever career touchdown off a kick. Yeah, my Diva of the Week nominee is Guy Clawson.
By 28 points. And Eddie Gage is going to want me to bring this up, but, you know, London came back to win that game. It come from behind fashion last season.
Ooh, look at
That
this.
return as a whole commentator curse. I am so sorry, Alamo City. 30, 20, 10. 1 man to beat. Not going to bring him down. Kick return touchdown for Guy Clausen. 6 points. So sorry. 100 yards. Blockers on the left side. And we'll see if that's the spark that Motor City needed.
And number 45 there with a great block to break him free. And who was that?
Oh, man. Oh,
I thought he was going to get him right there at the end, Jacob, but he got it. That was good candidate there. And Guy Clausen, congrats on your very first kick return for a touchdown. All right, that brings it down to the 5th and final Week 8 Diva of the Week nominee, and that is going to be none other than a defense of a team that did something that had not been done in 2 seasons, and I speak of none other than the entire Tulsa defense for holding Louisiana to 0 points. And not only did they hold them to 0 points, they did it in the last couple plays of the game where the shutout was in great danger. They were down to the 1 or 2 yard line, and Tulsa held strong, and here's how it went down.
I mean, this is just for pride at this point. This score has no impact on the game. It would help Louisiana avoid the first shutout in any SFL game since season 18.
Wow, they're going for it.
And a power eye set. Tulsa stacks the box. Short drop to the end zone. Deflected.
And that's it! Tulsa hangs on to the shutout. Congratulations to the Desperados. The first shutout in 2 SFL seasons. They win 28-0.
Sure. I thought for sure there was going to be a score there on the last play, but the Tulsa defense thought not. So there are your 5 Diva of the Week nominees. Like I said, I don't know that it will be in the server to vote on tonight since Holdorf is not with us this evening. So it'll be there tomorrow morning for sure. That moves us to predictions and pick'ems. This is the last thing we got to do. We got 11 minutes. We're going to whip through these. And then right after these, Nate's going to start shaving. Freddie's going to start singing. And I'm going to start signing us off. And we'll get out of here before 11 o'clock. I think 11 o'clock is the new 10:30, just so you know. It seems to be that way on the show. So first, before we get to the pickups, real quick, though, I got to update the wins, right? So last week, I forgot to put Josh has been now 2. So Josh was a single week percentage guy last week. Josh, though, check these out. Last week, Josh 10-1, Will 9-2, Tyler 8-3, and Paulie 8-3. They crushed it last week. So now Josh is the multi-week percentage leader at 88%, and Daniel is either going to make or break his single week percentage by adding in a second week this time. Dave doesn't know the passwords to access the Diva of the Week post. Oh, I do. I told you, bro, I got to drive, man. I'm going to be on the road in like 15 minutes. That being said, let's move on to week 9 games since this is week 8. Now that we've got that settled after almost 2 hours. First game, it'll be Friday Night Lights. Daniel, DC at Charleston, 8 p.m. Eastern. Who you got?
I got DC, and I'm hoping that that percentage keeps going.
Yeah, we'll find out. Nate.
DC.
Tyler.
Preds.
Ooh, look at that. Jacob, I'm assuming you're going with your team, but, you know, sometimes people pick against their team on this show, so who knows? I'm
going for the officials. No, of course. CHS all the way.
There you go. The nightcap Friday night, LA at Jacksonville. Daniel.
I think LA gets their second win.
Oh, okay. All right. Nate.
Jacksonville.
Tyler.
Kings.
Jacob.
LA. I'm not convinced on Jacksonville at the moment.
Parker picked us to lose to Sioux Falls live on your show. Yeah. I think if I'm not mistaken, Tyler picked against Louisiana regularly until last week, or right a couple weeks ago.
I've done it a couple times.
Somebody else has done it this season early on. I forget who it was. On Saturday, Daniel, we've got Atlanta at Minnesota, 1 p.m. Who you got?
Well, Minnesota has been an undefeated team last season. They'll do it again this season.
You think so?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I mean, I don't know who else you would have picked in that, but per the previous conversation, you just never know. Nate.
I think this is a trap game, Minnesota.
Trap game. Interesting. Well, it is on the road too. Tyler, what are you laughing at?
I'm not laughing.
You're what? Oh, you
Minnesota.
Oh, dude, I think you pick them more than you pick your own team. Jacob.
Fine, Atlanta. I'll be different.
Thank you.
Go. What did I say a couple weeks ago, Tyler? It was I said you to some team confirmed or trade or some they were going to put you on or Louisiana was going to trade you or something like that. I just realized they're trading you to Minnesota. That makes sense now.
Oh,
all right.
Gosh.
All right, Daniel, 115, Tulsa at Portland.
Tulsa's playing really well. I think Tulsa wins.
Yeah, I agree with that, Nate.
Portland and a shocker.
That is going to be a shocker, the way Tulsa's playing. Tyler?
You know, I like Portland, but Tulsa's going to turn a few more heads.
Jacob?
Tulsa all the way.
Okay. Still staying with Saturday in the evening. Indianapolis at Vancouver. Daniel?
I think just because of home field advantage, I'm going Vancouver.
Vancouver, okay. Nate?
Vancouver.
Tyler, what are you laughing at now? What am I missing? Is there something in the chat?
Fox.
Tyler looks like he's in the World Series of Poker, trying to see whether to go all in with a 210 suit. Dude, somebody needs to screenshot that and put it in the server. That's hilarious, actually. Tyler, what game am I on here? Indianapolis at Vancouver.
Vancouver.
Vancouver. Okay. Jacob?
All right, give me the upset. I'll take Indy.
Okay. I mean, it's not a bad guess. I think if it was reversed, if it's Vancouver at Indianapolis, I think Indianapolis might get more votes on that. 6:45 that night, Vegas at Carolina. This is going to be a good one, Daniel. Who you got?
I liked how Carolina's been playing, but I think Vegas is gonna eke it out, so I'll go Vegas.
Vegas had a bye this week too, so they're coming off of some rest, some extra planning. That's not a bad pick. Nate?
West is too strong. Las Vegas.
Although it would help us a lot if they lost. Tyler?
Carolina and a shocker.
Carolina. I don't know if it'll be that much of a shocker, especially if they're at home. Since they're at home, I don't know. Jacob, what do you think?
I'm going to side with Tyler. Give me the Sky Gang.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. I'm glad to see that one's split between you guys. That means for sure 2 of you are going to do really well this week, and 2 of you are going to probably suck. Let me see here. 9 p.m., Baltimore at Denver. Daniel?
Baltimore, move on.
Yeah, Nate?
Baltimore.
Tyler?
Vultures rebound.
And Jacob?
Baltimore.
Yeah, this is... Who said it? Was it last week? Somebody said that they'd hate to be Baltimore's next opponent, and poor Denver is going to be it for sure. All right, the nightcap that night, your San Diego Mavericks at Arizona. This is going to be another really good game. This is the beginning of San Diego's Murderer Row schedule at Arizona, at Baltimore, Carolina, and at DC. So, Daniel, how does San Diego start this trip off?
I'm going home field advantage because this could be a pick 'em for all I know. So I'm going Arizona.
Yeah, I could see that too. Nate?
San Diego.
Of course. Attaboy. Tyler?
Eddie's got a good defense cooked up. We'll see how San Diego handles it. This one will be a game to watch, especially at the nightcap, but I'm picking Zona.
Yeah, for sure. Jacob?
Great game, but it's the beginning of the end. Give me Arizona.
The beginning of the end? What is that? What are you trying to say there, Jacob? Wow, somebody's bitter over last week's loss. Daniel, we move into Sunday, Florida at Sioux Falls.
Give me... Sioux Falls still played well, even though they lost. Give me Sioux Falls.
Sioux Falls at home, okay. Nate?
Florida.
Tyler?
You know, I wasn't as sure of this one because I thought both teams were shaking, but Daniel made a great point. I'm going Sparrows.
Okay. This is another pick'em game for me, I think. Jacob, what do you think?
Yeah, Sioux Falls on the rebound.
Sioux Falls on the rebound. Still sticking with Sunday, 6:45 p.m. Mexico City at Motor City. Daniel.
Mexico City keeps rolling.
Nate.
Mexico City.
Tyler.
I know this is usually reserved for Minnesota Indy, but check engine light, please. Mexico City.
And Jacob.
Mexico City.
Mexico City. Looks like Nacho is picking a lot of the... Oh, no, he picked Florida in that one. We took Baltimore, Vancouver, Tulsa. Nacho's pretty in line with a couple of you guys there. Let's see where we at here. We're still Sunday night. Alamo City at Houston. Daniel.
Alamo City.
Nate.
Alamo City.
Alamo City. Tyler.
H-Town.
Really? That's a surprise, to be honest with you. Well, let's see. It's at Houston. Maybe not. I don't know. And you know what? They always seemed Lone Star when I was there. We always had a hard time controlling Houston's running game, so that could be an issue. Jacob?
Give me my old team, Houston.
Eddie, what are you talking about? Motor City has Motor City's number.
I'll look that up for you, Dave.
Or does he mean Mexico? Wait, I'm assuming one of those means Mexico City. I don't know what that means. Jacob, I'm sorry. Who did you say? I know you said it, but I did the thing I usually do to Lisa. I asked you a question, then I tuned out and didn't listen to the answer. Well, okay, Alamo City, I got it. I certainly wouldn't do it twice in a row to Lisa. Let's see. That was Alamo City. 9:15, Louisiana at Seattle. This is interesting, especially after this last weekend, Daniel. But more importantly, do both teams score points?
I think both teams are going to score points. I'm hoping because, Tyler, I'm going to root for your team. I'm going to root for Louisiana.
But are you picking them?
I'm picking them.
Nate, are you rooting for or pulling for or picking Louisiana or Seattle? Seattle. Tyler? Oh, shit, we got 2 minutes. Let's go. I lost track of time.
Sleepless in Seattle, Louisiana wins.
Louisiana. And Jacob.
I'll take the Revolution.
Louisiana. Okay, so only one Seattle on that. That could be the difference between winning and losing these pick'ems. All right, Monday Night Football. Fort Worth, who's doing really well, Daniel, is surprising some people, doing better than people thought. At London, a team that is doing worse than most people thought. Who you got in this one?
Yeah, but it's at London. That's the big thing here. So I'm going to go with the home team, London.
Okay. Yeah, and London's strong at home. I think they've only lost a couple games over the last couple seasons at home, too. Nate?
London by 3.
London by 3. Tyler?
Give me the Toros.
Fort Worth. And Jacob?
Yeah, give me Fort Worth as well.
Fort Worth. That's so you guys are split on that one too. That's going to be interesting. That I think that along with the DC or not DC. Who's Carolina playing again? Vegas, Carolina, San Diego, Arizona. There's a lot of really tight, close potential games this week. Nate, you might get those ready. Get those Clippers ready, but mute yourself. I don't want to hear them because I want to hear Freddie sing instead. Freddie, where you at, bro? How you doing, man?
I'm here, Dave. How you doing?
I'm doing well. Somebody said in the chat, I think it was Mike O'Neill, that if you sang about Tyler shaving, it somehow put that into your song, that he would lose his shit. So it's up to you. Wait, what just happened?
Tyler's what? Shaving?
Yeah, he's shaving his beard, bro. Right,
Oh, is he?
right now on air. Where he was. I don't know what just happened, but
Tyler is shaving.
oh fuck, Nate is
I'm telling you, Dave, you're getting old in your old age. You
just end the show now, and just end the show now.
Oh shit!
Let's get Danny Dom. Anyway, great show, great panelists, great job by Gunny. But as our boy Danny Dom would say, turn out the lights, the party's over. They say that all good things must end. Let's call it a night. The party's over. Until next week, where we'll see Nate without a beard. Good night, everybody.
Attaboy, Freddie. All right, thank you, everybody. Appreciate everybody being on the show. All the party people in the chat. Thanks for putting up with that's probably the most times I fucked up in a show ever, probably. So thank you for that. And or you're welcome for that, I guess. But thanks for sticking around and tuning in. Appreciate the party people. Thanks to Bullet and Gunny and Freddie, as always, along with Dwayne and Colin coming on for the owner's box. Daniel, Nate, Tyler, and Jacob. I have to speak very slowly now when I call their names. Nate, let's get a look at this real quick before we go off air. Oh, you're getting there, bro. You're getting there. All right, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. Way to be a CHP? A CHP? What are you talking about? I don't know what you're talking about, Mike O'Neill, but whatever. All right, folks. Thanks again for tuning in. Appreciate you guys. We're a minute over. Damn it. Imagine that. We'll tune in next Tuesday. All right? 9 p.m. where I'll see you at the Tees, and I will see you next Tuesday, Mike St. Green.